Men, there are certain behaviors that don't have innocent explanations. Most relationship advice tells you to trust your partner, give her the benefit of the doubt, and not jump to conclusions. Before we start, hit subscribe and hype button, drop a like, and comment if you've ever seen these exact behaviors and later confirmed she was cheating. Behavior 1. She guards her phone like it contains nuclear codes. When her phone behavior changes dramatically, where she suddenly takes it everywhere, including the bathroom, tilts the screen away from you, gets anxious when you're near it, changes passwords, enables face-down placement, or panics when you pick it up innocently, she's hiding active communication with someone she doesn't want you to see. This isn't about privacy. This is about concealment of ongoing affair. What this behavior actually means. This behavior means there are messages, calls, photos, or app activity on that phone that would immediately expose her cheating. Faithful partners don't guard phones this intensely because they have nothing to hide. When phone suddenly becomes protected territory she's defensive about, it's because that phone contains evidence of betrayal. The intensity of her protection matches the severity of what she's hiding. Notice the sudden change in phone behavior. If she used to leave her phone lying around, and now it's constantly in her pocket or hand, something changed. If you used to be able to pick up her phone to check the time, and now she panics when you touch it, she's hiding something new. If she suddenly added passwords, or changed them without mentioning it, she's securing evidence. Changes in phone behavior indicate changes in what that phone contains. Watch what happens when notifications appear. If she immediately grabs the phone when it buzzes, angles away to read messages, or dismisses notifications quickly without letting you see the screen, she's monitoring communication she doesn't want you aware of. If she sets certain contacts to not show message previews, or changed notification settings for specific people, she's created technical barriers to you accidentally seeing affair partner's messages. Pay attention to bathroom and shower phone habits. There's no legitimate reason to take your phone to the bathroom for a 5-minute shower unless you're communicating with someone and can't risk being without the phone even briefly. If she's texting in the bathroom, taking long bathroom breaks with her phone, or showering with it nearby, she's maintaining constant contact with affair partner and can't tolerate communication gaps. Observe her reaction if you ask to use her phone. If your phone is dead and you ask to use hers quickly and she refuses, makes excuses, or insists you wait for yours to charge, she's protecting evidence. Faithful partners hand over phones without hesitation for legitimate needs. If she'd rather you be without a phone than let you use hers for 2 minutes, there's content on that phone that would expose her. Notice if she's deleted text threads or call logs. If you happen to see her phone and notice her messages are unusually sparse, she's deleting conversations. If call history is empty or suspiciously short, she's clearing it regularly. If certain contact names are missing who used to text her frequently, she's either deleted them or saved them under fake names. Active deletion of evidence is itself evidence. Why this means she's cheating. This behavior means cheating because the phone is communication hub for affairs. Every text with affair partner, every call arranging meetings, every photo exchanged, every dating app message is on that phone. Her extreme protection of it reveals she knows you finding that phone unlocked for 30 seconds would expose everything. Innocent people don't guard phones like this because innocent phones don't contain betrayal evidence. Behavior 2, she has unexplained time gaps where she's completely unreachable. When she regularly has blocks of time where she's supposedly at work, the gym, running errands, or with friends, but she doesn't answer calls or texts during these periods, and her explanations for where she was don't add up when verified, she's creating windows for affair meetings. Unexplained, unreachable time is affair time. What this behavior actually means. This behavior means she's physically with a affair partner during periods where she claims to be doing other things. Affairs require in-person time. She has to create believable excuses for being unavailable and unreachable while she's actually with him. The time gaps are when she's engaged in affair activities she can't be interrupted during because you'd hear background noise, voices, or context that exposes the lie. Notice patterns in her unavailability. If she's unreachable every Tuesday and Thursday evening when she supposedly has gym class, but you've verified the class doesn't exist or she's not attending, those are affair windows. If she works late on specific days consistently, but co-workers never mention these late nights, she's not at work. Patterns reveal planned affair time, not random legitimate activities. Watch what happens when you try to reach her during these times. If calls go to voicemail immediately, like the phone is off, she's silencing it so affair partner doesn't hear it ring. If texts don't deliver or show as unread for hours, she's turned off data or put the phone in airplane mode. If she always has elaborate excuses for why she couldn't answer, she's prepared explanations for times she knew she'd be unavailable. Pay attention to how she explains what she did during unreachable time. If you ask how her workout was, and she gives vague generic answer, like, "It was fine," without any details, she wasn't working out. If you ask what she and her friend talked about and she can't remember specifics, she wasn't with that friend. If her stories lack the natural detail of real experiences, she's fabricating rather than recounting. Observe whether her stated timeline matches her appearance when she returns. If she supposedly just finished intense gym session but isn't sweaty and her hair isn't affected, she wasn't exercising. If she claims she was shopping for 2 hours but returns with nothing, she wasn't shopping. If she says she just got off work but is wearing different clothes than she left in, she changed somewhere. Physical evidence contradicts stated activities. Notice if her location explanations can be verified. If she says she was at specific restaurant with friends, you could verify through checking the restaurant's parking lot, seeing if friends post on social media, or casually mentioning it to those friends later. If she's vague about exact locations or changes her story about where she was, verification would expose the lie so she keeps it vague. Why this means she's cheating. This behavior means cheating because affairs require physical time together that she has to hide. She can't tell you she's spending 3 hours with another man, so she creates cover stories and makes herself unreachable during affair time. The unreachability is essential because if you could reach her, you'd hear things that don't match her supposed location. The time gaps are literally when she's with him. Behavior 3. Her story about where she was keeps changing. When you ask about where she was or what she did, and the story changes in retelling, or details contradict things she said earlier, or her account doesn't match what others say or what evidence shows, she's lying and struggling to keep the lies consistent. Cheaters can't remember their lies perfectly. Story inconsistency is deception reveal. What this behavior actually means. This behavior means she's constructing false narratives about her activities and can't maintain consistency because she's making it up rather than recounting reality. When people tell the truth about what they did, the story stays the same every time because they're remembering actual events. When people lie, details change because they're reconstructing fiction and can't recall exactly what lies they told previously. Notice contradictions in timeline. If she initially says she left work at 6 but later mentions stopping at her friend's at 5:30, the timeline doesn't work. If she says she was at location A all evening but mentions something that happened at location B during that time, she's forgotten which lie she told. Timeline contradictions reveal she's not recounting real sequence of events. Watch for changing details about who she was with. If she first says she was alone, then mentions someone was with her, then changes who that person was, she's adjusting the story as she goes. If the people she claims to have been with don't corroborate her account when you verify casually, she fabricated their involvement. Cheaters often name real people doing real activities they weren't actually part of to make lies seem believable. Pay attention to details that change between tellings. If she describes the restaurant as busy the first time she tells the story, but quiet when she mentions it later. She's making up details rather than remembering them. If the weather changes in her retelling, or what she ordered, or what time she left, these inconsistencies reveal fabrication. Real memories stay consistent. Fabrications drift. Observe what happens when you point out contradictions. If you note that her current story differs from what she said yesterday, and she gets defensive, angry, or accuses you of not trusting her rather than simply explaining the confusion, she knows she's been caught in a lie. If she can't explain the inconsistency and instead attacks you for noticing, she's deflecting from being exposed. Notice if her story conveniently has no witnesses or verifiable elements. If every detail of her supposed evening is something only she experienced with no one who can confirm it, she's constructed story that can't be checked. If she avoids naming specific locations, people, or details that could be verified, it's because verification would expose lies. Why this means she's cheating. This behavior means cheating because consistent lying about whereabouts is how affairs are maintained. She has to lie about where she is when she's with a fair partner, and lies are hard to keep straight. Each time she recounts the full story, details shift because she's not pulling from memory of real events. Story inconsistency is proof she's deceiving you about her activities, and that deception is covering affair. Behavior 4. She's suddenly obsessed with her appearance in ways she wasn't before. When she abruptly starts dressing better, wearing more makeup, getting her hair done more frequently, buying new lingerie, going to the gym religiously, or caring intensely about appearance when she was never this focused before, and this effort isn't for you or special events, but just for regular life, she's presenting herself for someone new. Sudden appearance obsession means new audience. What this behavior actually means. This behavior means she's in attraction phase with someone new and wants to look her best for them. The sudden spike in appearance investment indicates new romantic interest she's trying to impress. If she's been with you for years and suddenly cares dramatically more about how she looks during normal activities, she's not doing it for herself or for you after all this time. She's doing it for someone who's seeing her and whose opinion matters to her. Notice the timing of appearance changes. If she suddenly started caring about her looks around the same time other suspicious behaviors began, it's all connected to new person in her life. If she gets especially dressed up on days she has those unexplained time gaps, she's preparing to see a fair partner. If appearance effort correlates with specific activities or days, those are when she's seeing him. Watch whether the improved appearance benefits you. If she's wearing new lingerie, but you're not seeing it because intimacy has decreased, she bought it for someone else. If she's dressing attractively, but you're not going anywhere together, the effort isn't for your benefit. If she looks her best when leaving the house without you and looks casual when she's home with you, you're not the target audience. Pay attention to what specific appearance changes occur. If she suddenly cares about lingerie and intimate grooming when she didn't before, someone new is seeing her naked. If she's focused on clothes and style, she's concerned about how she presents in public with someone. If she's obsessed with fitness, she wants her body to look good for new eyes. Each focus area reveals what aspect of attraction she's managing. Observe if she's receptive to your compliments. If she's putting all this effort into appearance, but doesn't care whether you notice or compliment her, you're not who she's trying to impress. If your positive comments don't matter to her, but she's anxious about how she looks, she's seeking validation from someone else whose opinion she actually cares about. Notice if she's defensive about appearance changes. If you ask why she's suddenly so into her appearance, and she gets irritated, defensive, or accuses you of not wanting her to look good, she's hiding the real reason. If she can't give straightforward answer about what prompted the changes, it's because the honest answer is that someone new makes her want to look her best. Why this means she's cheating. This behavior means cheating because sudden dramatic appearance changes indicate new person she's trying to attract or impress. After being with you for extended period, she's established appearance baseline. Sudden spike beyond that baseline isn't random. It's response to new romantic interest. She's investing in her appearance for a fair partner who's seeing her regularly and whose attraction she wants to maintain. Behavior 5. She picks fights over nothing to create distance and justify time apart. When she starts arguments over trivial things, seems irritated by you constantly, picks fights that lead to her leaving the house or sleeping separately, or creates conflict that justifies spending time apart. She's manufacturing reasons to create physical and emotional distance. Fight picking is a fair facilitation strategy that creates opportunities to be with a fair partner while framing you as the problem. What this behavior actually means? This behavior means she's creating justification for distance because she wants time and space to be with a fair partner without you questioning why she's pulling away. Affairs create guilt that makes being around betrayed partner uncomfortable. Starting fights allows her to be angry at you instead of guilty and gives her excuse to leave, stay away, or emotionally disconnect. The fights aren't really about the stated issues. They're tools for creating a fair space. Notice if fights escalate to her leaving. If arguments consistently end with her storming out, staying at a friend's house, or creating separation, she's using conflict to create opportunities to be with a fair partner. The fight is excuse for absence. If she picks a fight before she needs to leave anyway, she's creating justification for departure she already planned. Watch what the fights are actually about. If she's picking fights over things that never bothered her before, or blowing trivial issues into major conflicts, the stated problem isn't the real issue. If fights seem designed to push you away rather than resolve anything, that's because pushing you away is the actual goal. If nothing you do resolves the conflict because she finds new things to be upset about, she's maintaining conflict state intentionally. Pay attention to whether she wants to resolve conflicts. If she refuses to discuss issues calmly, won't accept apologies, or keeps bringing up resolved problems, she doesn't want resolution. She wants ongoing conflict that justifies distance. If make-up attempts from you are rejected and she maintains anger longer than the issue warrants, she's sustaining conflict for its utility in creating separation. Observe if fights give her freedom she uses for suspicious activities. If she picks a fight, leaves angry, and is unreachable for hours with vague explanation of where she went, the fight created a fair window. If she uses your arguments as reason, she needs space or time away, she's spending that time with him. The conflict serves practical purpose of justifying absences. Notice if she's projecting or making accusations about you. Sometimes cheaters accuse partners of the exact things they're doing. If she suddenly seems worried you're cheating when you're not, she's projecting her guilt. If she accuses you of not being committed or being distant, she's describing herself. Projection can reveal her own behavior by showing what's on her mind. Why this means she's cheating? This behavior means cheating because affairs require creating time and space separate from primary partner. Starting fights manufactures justified separation. It makes her the victim of your supposed failures rather than the perpetrator of betrayal. It creates distance when affair guilt makes closeness uncomfortable, and it provides excuses for being away or unavailable when she's actually with a fair partner. Sustained conflict serves affair logistics. Behavior 6, your intimate life, together has dropped to near nothing or changed completely. When she suddenly becomes uninterested in intimacy with you, rejects advances consistently, seems disconnected during intimate moments, or conversely, when she suddenly wants to try new things she never mentioned before, someone else is occupying her intimate energy. Dramatic changes in intimate life mean that energy is being directed elsewhere, or she's importing experiences from affair into your relationship. What this behavior actually means, this behavior means her intimate focus has shifted to a fair partner. If intimacy decreases dramatically, she's getting those needs met elsewhere and doesn't want or need intimacy with you. If intimacy changes dramatically with new activities or approaches, she's learning them with a fair partner and unconsciously or deliberately bringing them into your relationship. Either change means someone else is now central to her intimate life. Notice if she's rejecting you constantly. If she used to be receptive and now consistently has excuses like being tired, not feeling well, being too busy, or just not being in the mood, her desire hasn't disappeared. It's redirected. If every advance is rejected and she seems annoyed by your interest, she's no longer attracted to you because attraction has shifted to someone else who's receiving the intimate energy you used to receive. Watch if she seems completely disconnected during intimate moments. If you do manage to be intimate and she seems mentally elsewhere, focused on finishing rather than connecting, or clearly just going through motions, she's not present with you. Her mind and heart are with a fair partner, even when her body is with you. Emotional disconnection during intimacy reveals she's emotionally intimate with someone else. Pay attention to sudden changes in what she wants. If she suddenly wants to try things she never expressed interest in before, she's either doing them with a fair partner and bringing them into your relationship, or she wants to do with you what she's already doing with him to ease guilt. If she's introducing new preferences that seem out of character, they're coming from experiences with someone else. Observe if she's more interested in her own pleasure than connection. If intimacy becomes transactional, where she wants to finish quickly rather than share experience, or if she's focused on her needs with no interest in yours, she's treating you as service provider rather than partner. This objectification comes from no longer seeing you as intimate partner because that role belongs to a fair partner now. Notice if she compares you negatively or seems dissatisfied. If she criticizes your intimate performance, compares you unfavorably to past partners, or expresses dissatisfaction that never existed before, she's comparing you to a fair partner, and you're coming up short. These comparisons reveal she's experiencing intimate connection with someone she finds superior and resenting that she has to be with you. Why this means she's cheating. This behavior means cheating because intimate energy is finite. When it's being directed to a fair partner, there's little left for you. Dramatic decrease shows she's fulfilled elsewhere. Dramatic changes show she's learning from a fair and importing into your relationship. Either pattern means someone else has become her intimate focus, and you're either being excluded or experiencing secondhand what she's doing primarily with him.